How you doing, brother? Okay. Good evening, Yes Group. How are you guys doing tonight? Yes. Are you looking forward to 6 amazing speakers? Yes. I didn't hear that. Yes. Are you looking forward? Yes. Me too. I've had the pleasure of actually seeing these speakers before, and I've got to tell you, you guys are in for a treat. I was actually blown away when I first heard them speak. But before I go into that, let me just tell you a little bit about my background here, because Yes X, or Yes Group Members Night, is a really special night for me, because I actually spoke on this stage myself 3 years ago. I came to the Yes... How many people here for the first time, by the way? Okay, and of those first timers, are you here because one of the speakers is your friend or something like that? You're showing support? Yes. Excellent, great. Because I know it can be quite a nerve-wracking thing to be up on stage, especially when you're delivering a speech, because I was doing it in 2011, and it's really important that friends and family come out and support. So I know that they really value your presence here, so I honour that, and you could have been doing anything on a Wednesday evening. But my journey began in the Yes Group 3 years ago, and I just found this amazing community which helped me grow and contribute, which are two of our major values in this community. And when Ian asked me a few months ago, would I take on the role of organising Members Night, or Yes X as we like to call it, initially I didn't want to do it. I was like, it was quite a big responsibility, and I felt that it was beyond my comfort zone. But then I thought, well, actually, as part of our values to grow and contribute, I need to do it in order for me to grow and for the organisation to grow, and also I need to contribute to the organisation. So basically what I'm saying is I ended up getting roped into doing this, and I'm really glad. Yes, I did, yeah. And I'm really glad I did. We held these auditions around 3 or 4 weeks ago. It was very much like X Factor style. I'm hopefully I was more friendly than Simon Cowell. Maybe they can tell you later, but it was an amazing experience, because we had probably 25 people who showed an interest in coming and speaking on the stage, and I know there were a lot more people who wanted to, but were a bit scared to. And of those 25, maybe not all of them actually turned up for auditions, and I was really surprised by that, because you've got this opportunity here to speak on stage in a warm environment, a supportive environment. You guys are all going to be supportive, aren't you? Yeah? A supportive environment, so you can't really go wrong. Doesn't matter what you say. And so I was really surprised at the people that didn't show up. But what I wanted to say is I really commend those that did turn up. And I know there's a few people in the audience here who did audition and didn't get through. But really, as Woody Allen says, that 90% of success is in just showing up. And for the people that showed up, they were all successful in my mind, because they put the time in, they put the effort in. And really that's what Members Night is all about. It's about rewarding those members who come week after week or month after month, contribute to the Facebook community, and give them an opportunity to speak on this stage. So that's really what Members Night is, once a year, a special occasion. So enough rambling from me. What I'd like to do is introduce our first speaker. Our first speaker's name is Sami Judah, and he is an advanced level lightning process practitioner, which is very intriguing. I'd like to know more about that. He is also a clinical hypnotherapist, an NLP master practitioner, and a life coach. And through his practice, his organisation, Neurologica, he helps hundreds of people transform their lives and their health. And tonight he's going to be talking about the power of beliefs. It's something that if you're in the personal development community, you know is just so important. And we all hold these beliefs in us, and Sammy's going to talk to us about how these beliefs are created, how they're formed, how we can go about changing them, and why it's so important to do that. That's all I'm going to say, because Sammy's going to do all the rest. But to welcome him up on stage, I really want a massive Yes Group welcome to give all the encouragement and support that we know that Sammy deserves. So please welcome up Sammy. Our next speaker, Dr. Laura Nelson, is a high-performance coach and a neuroscientist, and she helps businesses and individuals with their personal and business development and transformation. She's spoken on TEDx stages, she's spoken in media around the world. She helps people develop in their businesses. And today we're going to find out all about how to attract more clients and break through in our businesses. I'm going to leave the rest up to Laura, but please give a warm Yes Group welcome to Dr. Laura Nelson. Our next speaker, just before I introduce him, it was quite funny because on the auditions, or the day before the audition, I was getting emails and he was saying, okay, I'm going to fly over specially from New York just to audition. This is how popular and how challenging it is for some of these speakers to get onto this stage. We get people coming in from New York specially to audition. And when I saw him, I felt a little bit, I guess, sad for him in a way, or sorry for him, I should say, in the reason why I chose the location I did, because I chose to do all the auditions in a room above a pub. And the reason I was feeling sorry for him is because he came hobbling up the steps, because I think the day before he thought he'd just done something small like to his foot and he couldn't really walk on it, and he went to the doctors almost straight away afterwards, and it turned out to be something quite serious of which he's still got problems with. So you've got to give him an extra warm welcome, and I'm sure you're going to do that anyway. But our next speaker, David Brady, is the CEO of a multi-award winning software company, internationally recognized, and he's had many hats in the past. One of the most interesting, I think, was running a medical dispensary in Togo or somewhere. And he claims that having rubber gloves, a sense of humour and a first aid certificate gets you a long way there. He believes that passion, fun and focus is really the main purpose for his life, and that laughter can go a long way. And you're going to understand exactly how far it can go in a moment as I introduce David Brady, who's going to talk to us all about laughter. Please welcome David Brady up to the stage. The next speaker, before I introduce the next speaker, who remembers the song Sunscreen? Sunscreen, yeah, do you remember that? There was one line in that song that, I don't know, I just thought of it now when I was reading the introduction that I was going to give the next speaker, because it says that some of the most interesting people that he meets at 40 still don't know what they want to do. And I remember when I heard that and I thought, yeah, that's pretty cool actually, because sometimes people get stuck into a profession at 20 years old and they do the same thing for 40 years, and yes, they might be interesting, but I also think it's really interesting to actually have a varied career. And our next speaker, who you saw before the break, Peter, has had that varied career from being a gardener and a retailer to a bike courier to a city financial analyst. So quite a varied career, so really interesting. But all of that took him to a place which he's going to talk to us about. And in 2010, as he said, started doing yoga and realised that he can succeed and overcome whether he's homeless and got whatever else going on. And you're going to hear all about it in a second. So I'm not going to waste any more of his stage time, but I want you to give a massive Yes Group welcome to Peter Toohey. I love the acronym Power Yoga. If anyone that knows me, I love all the acronyms. I find them really easy to remember. And G for gratitude was a big one for me coming to the Yes Group. So I don't know if this is the first time you've heard about keeping a gratitude list, but there was a speaker when I came to my first ever Yes Group, and he mentioned it just in the Q&A section. And since that day, I have been doing my daily 3 items of gratitude, and it can be challenging at the beginning, especially if we're so used to looking at the negative in the world. But I do encourage you to just try it for 30 days, which is what my initial plan was, and now, 3.5 years later, I'm still doing it. Brilliant. Well, we're almost coming to the end. We've got the last speaker, and this speaker is quite funny, really, because it's a great talk. But what I found funny was at the break, actually, because he handed me an introduction to read. Because initially I asked everyone, okay, can you just give me a few lines about yourself so that I can introduce you to everyone? And he was like, I'll just say, I don't know, Chris is a new member, he's just joined recently. And then he heard the introductions and thought, well, actually, I want to know a bit more. And he's a bit bashful because this guy, he helps authors and trainers and speakers basically monetize their knowledge and get paid while they sleep, effectively. He's run workshops in the UK, Ireland, America, Australia. He's co-organised a TEDx conference in Abu Dhabi. Has anyone heard of Nightingale Coney? Yeah. For those that haven't, they are like like to personal development audios and books, what Nike are to yoga brands, to exercise. I've got yoga on the brain here. To exercise clothing. And he in the UK was effectively, I guess, not the Nike, but the Adidas, like the next one down, bringing in these kind of products. So he's got a lot to talk about, but he's not going to be sharing that tonight, but he's going to be sharing something even more interesting and valuable, which I'm going to let him explain in a second. So please welcome up Chris. Andrew, ready? Let's do it.